Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of La Banca Podcast in English. I'm your host, Mark, aka Marquinho, aka Chen Segovia, alongside one of my co-hosts who we haven't seen for a while, actually. Welcome back, Fidel. What's going on, bud?
What's up? What's up, my man? I've been busy. You know how it is, man. I
Yeah.
just I have a lot going on during this time of the season, so I get to do my little coaching job on the side. And so I've been out for a while, but I'm back, man. I'm excited here. So let's do this.
Yeah, man. Obviously we got other responsibilities, aside from the show, but even though we do love being here, and things of that nature, we all know that, we enjoy being here and talking soccer with you guys. But, we got lives that we got to make sure we do our thing on, obviously we're on here on Thursday when we're usually on Tuesdays because, obviously my job interrupted with everything else. So, but yeah, it happens, man. But we're happy to be here. Obviously, it's a little bit later than what we usually get on here for this English show. But for those that are here with us, I see a couple people on. Thank you for joining us. And for those who will watch us later on, hey, welcome. Before anything else, please, if you haven't subscribed to the show, please subscribe, give us a like, and tell your friends about us, man. We enjoy talking soccer with everybody, and leave a comment. It doesn't matter which episode, can be from episode 1 to episode whatever episode this is. Just leave us a comment, let us know what you want to talk about, and we'll make sure to mention it, man. We'll give you a shout out in the next episode, for sure. But moving along, man, obviously let's start off with one of the biggest achievements that's been going on in this year in soccer, and we're going to talk about the 21 game winning streak that Man City was on, that was snapped this past weekend by their main rivals and their derby, by Manchester United, them losing 2-0 Manchester United. It was a great feat, obviously, to go 21 games winning, not winning and tying, winning in all competitions. A great feat. What are your thoughts about, just the whole feat in itself? I mean, obviously 21 games in a row without defeat or tying. That's a great achievement for Manchester City.
So everybody talks about Pep Guardiola having all these great teams with all this great talent and all these great abilities and expensive players, right? Which there's no doubt you're completely right, right? But at the same time, it takes a coach to make players believe what he wants them to do. And what I mean by that is that a coach can come out and tell you, hey, I need you to do this for me. The other thing is, does that player really have the ability to do those things or qualities to do those things? And by that I mean skill, right? But Pep is filled with talent, and I think he always finds a way to find the right player or build the right player to fill that one position to do the job specifically the way that he wants it. It is difficult, and I want people to understand it is very difficult to go on a streak this high, especially knowing that the main league that you play in is the Premier League, which is the most competitive league to my standards, right? So 21 games, not losing at all in all of competitions, it's something to just get a trophy for, because when you think about this, you have to be crazy minded when it comes to your love and passion for the game and knowing the game very tactically. And that's just exactly what Pep Guardiola is. It takes very few people have that ability to be able to build a team or to have a team follow your lead or your standards or your way of thinking to perform on the field against any other team. The biggest thing about Pep is the way he does adjustments as the game is going on to make movements and tactical calls during the game to be able to change the game and win the games. That is what's important here. And Pep is really good at it. And I think he has a lot of pride in that. He has a lot of self-confidence in that. And he's just great all around, man. So a lot of people say, hey, man, he's got the greatest player in the world. Well, a lot of teams have great players. But if the coach doesn't have that ability to make them think his way, they're not going to perform. And Pep has that ability. So it's a gift.
It's amazing because when this winning streak first started, Man City was 10th in the table.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're running away with the league, basically have the league tied up. It's theirs to lose, right? I think the league's theirs 80%. maybe 85, 90%, to be honest. So it's an amazing, you know, feat because of where they were to where they are now, and how much dedication and focus it takes to make this feat happen. Because not only that, but obviously advancing in FA Cup tournaments, advancing to the Carabao Cup final against Tottenham here later on next month, advancing in the Champions League, doing well in the Champions League right now. They're in the round of 16 currently going against Borussia Mönchengladbach. So obviously there's a lot of achievement that's come in within that 21 game winning streak. So, and it's to be applauded. It's a lot of focus, a lot of determination, and you got to have players that buy in. You can have the best coach in the world, but if you don't have the players to buy in into what you're trying to preach and trying to coach, then it doesn't really matter. I mean, because at the end of the day, the players play the game, and the players have to go and execute whatever plan the coach has for those players to go execute. But, but with that being said, I don't know if they wanted to. I don't know if they wanted the 21 game winning streak to come to an end to their bitter rivals, Manchester United. I think that's the only downside about it. I think if they would have lost against Southampton on Wednesday or whatever, it would have been okay, cool. They've won already for the last 3 months without losing. So it's bound to come to an end. They're not going to win forever. But the fact that it came against their bitter rivals across the street hurts a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah, it feels like Manchester United did their homework. Studied them really well. Came out with a great game plan and really got into Man City's skin as far as not letting them penetrate and have that freeness to have a very easy shot in front of the goal. So shout out to Manchester United, man. They played an amazing game, and like you say, it's you're gonna lose one day, but that's the one team you don't want to lose to, right?
Yeah.
Because then it's not that you kind of give them a boost too. But then on the other hand, you got to think about it. Manchester United is number 2 on the table, and they're doing pretty well as well. So you can never second guess those games.
Yeah, for sure, man. So I mean, obviously, a round of applause again to Manchester City. I guess a little bit of a hand clap for Manchester United. Obviously it's a great win for them, but I mean, it doesn't get them any closer to the title, or it doesn't do anything else for them. But as I said, maybe give a little bit of confidence. But great job. I guess Manchester will be red for a little bit, so it's all good. But speaking of red, I mean, um, Spain, and when we talk about the Spanish football league and La Liga, obviously you can't go far without mentioning Barcelona. And obviously we know Barcelona had a little bit of a up and down last couple of weeks, right? And it came to a climax here at the this past weekend with the election of a new president and a new old president, actually, and Joao Laporta. He won quite a big margin, 55% of the votes. It was a 3-man race between him, Victor Fonte, and Fidexa. But he won the majority vote, 55%. What are your thoughts on Laporta coming back to Barcelona? I mean, obviously we know the great achievement he had under his presidency during the first time around with, signings like Ronaldinho, Deco, obviously the whole Messi saga, and with Xavi and Iniesta and Puyol, the whole Pep Guardiola era and all those things. What do you think he can do for an encore for Barcelona?
So this is very optimistic for Barcelona fans. If you think about it, it is Joao Laporta who actually resurrected Barcelona. Barcelona was living a dark time. I mean, there was like a 10-year period before Laporta got there where Barcelona just wasn't winning or convincing or showing great game or anything. And it was Laporta who brought in Rijkaard, he brought in Pep, he brought in Ronaldinho. He revived Barcelona. Messi came along, the Iniestas, the Xavis. I mean, he gave Barcelona life. And with that, started a fire that grew to more. So when Bartomeu came in, he had everything going for him. He just needed to keep it going, right?
He fumbled it.
He fumbled it big time, man. So very optimistic for Barcelona fans because when Laporta says something, he means it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he has a game plan. We don't know what that game plan is. Part of his game plan is to keep Messi and to convince Messi to stay, right? How he's going to do that, I don't know. Do I think it's impossible? Yes. But at the same time, like many Barcelona fans, I would like Messi to stay in Barcelona. It's like a breakup, right? You love somebody, but they want to break up to go to somewhere else, right? And you don't want them to go, right? Well, as a fan, that's just really what it is, you know. And the reason why fans are very heartbroken or might feel heartbroken if Messi leaves is because everybody envisioned Messi retiring with the Barcelona jersey. Everybody envisioned Messi, living the life of football with a Barcelona jersey, you know? And so that's just it. But without Messi or with Messi, I think Laporta is going to do great things for Barcelona because he's a man that proposes and shows a way of like, hey, listen, the value of this sport and what's gonna make us money and make us happy and make us win is the players and the staff, right? Nothing else. So he gives 100% support to those guys to keep them happy, to make them happy, and to make them grow in what it is that they do, right? And so some people think, no, our job is to sell players. That's the way we're gonna make money. Well, if you're gonna sell players, then forget about winning championships. Forget about making your fans happy. Forget about filling up the stadiums every year because once they see that you go down and you're not picking up or winning games, they're gonna forget you. They're gonna leave. You know.
Yeah, man. I'm obviously, it's one of those things where me as a Barcelona fan, obviously, I am excited to see Laporta, back as a president. The fact being is that obviously he has experience with the chair. He has a lot of connections in the football world. Not to disrespect Fonte or Fidexa, because I'm pretty sure they had a plan going and they would have done pretty well as well. But it's one thing to have somebody in charge of that position that's done it before. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and the fact, like you said, Laporta, for him, football is not just a business; it's a passion for him. You
Hmm.
see how engaging he was during his first presidency, with the players and with the coaches and with the staff and and everything. How much the players and coaching staff loved him. Think about the time. We think about the time between the first and second Champions League triumphs of Barcelona between 1992 and 2006. You mentioned those dark times. After the 92 Dream Team and before the Ronaldinho, 2006 Champions League winning team. Those are some dark times for Barcelona. They weren't the Barcelona that we now know. This generation of football fans know. Nowhere near close to that. And obviously, you had teams like Madrid, obviously, and teams like Valencia just running rapid in La Liga. And not till like I said, Laporta came in, knew he had a plan. He went out there, executed his plan. Like we mentioned prior, he brought in players like Ronaldinho, other world class players as well. Deco, to name quite a few, and turned his whole ship around. Now, will it be a little bit more harder this time of go around? Because of the whole financial crisis and pandemic, and then obviously the whole weight of, will Messi stay or will Messi go? Yeah, no doubt, obviously. But I mean, I think he's a man up for the challenge. Um, our co-host in the Spanish show, Little Man, obviously he's for like, hey man, let Messi go. He's done his thing, and I understand it. Look, do I want Messi to stay in a Barcelona shirt and retire as a Barcelona player? Sure, I would love that. Fairy tale ending, right? But I'm also optimistic and I'm also more of a realist. If he decides to go somewhere else for a different challenge, for a different project, I'm fine with that, man. That man has gave up everything for the shirt, for the jersey, and for that crest, and for that city. He's done everything. Whatever he decides to do, nobody should hate for whatever his decision is, whether he stays or he goes. But obviously, if he stays, it becomes a little bit of an easier task for Laporta, I think, because once you get that huge monkey off your shoulder of him staying, or actually making the decision of him staying, now you can focus on what you're going to do as far as the financial aspect of the club and how you're going to bring money in, how are you going to challenge for trophies, how are you going to take Barcelona back to being in black instead of being red financially,
Right.
things of that nature. But obviously, we're gonna see what this season ends up with for Barcelona. The good thing about Laporta, beforehand is like, we basically told the team, hey, I'm happy to be back. I need you guys to just focus on the pitch and achieve the goals ahead, which is, obviously winning the Copa del Rey final versus Atletico Bilbao here in a couple of weeks, and hopefully catching up to Atletico Madrid and picking up that La Liga trophy. Because if they imagine, Fidel, everybody talks about the turmoil that Barcelona is in the season ever since the beginning of the pandemic last season.
Right.
Imagine, they're talking about this is a horrible season for Barcelona, but if at the end of the season they end up picking up two trophies and the two biggest trophies in their city, and then being in three finals, obviously they were in the Supercopa final as well. That's not a pretty bad season.
I don't think so either. I mean, there's a lot of hope for Barcelona, and considering the fact that you look at the squad, right? Look at how much young talent there is. And I'm talking about in all the lines, defense, midfield, and forwards. I mean, it is crazy. So it's not like Laporta is going to start from the scratch. He has something to go by, and maybe he can bring in a couple of pieces if possible
Mhm.
to support those lines and just convince Messi or maybe move on from Messi, but keep the team strong and competitive as it should be, right? So these are the things that we question ourselves as far as what he has under his sleeves, because he's very convinced, and he has convinced the public. He has convinced the majority stockholders on behalf of Barcelona, and that's why they voted up for him, because that he's gonna keep Messi. And if he doesn't, then that's the best president you can have. If he's done it before, he's gonna do it again. And
Yeah.
believe me, Laporta is the right guy for this job for sure.
Before we move on to the next topic, obviously there is the possibility of Messi leaving, and like you mentioned yourself, I mean, Barcelona has a great squad, a great young, youthful squad. You got players like Pedri, Tricao, Ansu Fati, who unfortunately, hasn't played this season because due to injury. De Jong, Arrojo, who obviously didn't play this past game because of injury. But I mean, you have a lot of talent, Sergino Dest, and it just keeps going and going. So, and I'm pretty sure he has a plan in place if in case Messi doesn't come back. I'm pretty
Right.
sure they're gonna be more proactive and go into the academy and making sure that the players that are ready to come up do come up and get that playing time that's necessary. Because let's be realistic. During the Bartomeu era, Bartomeu was just bandaging the problem. He kept putting bandages. That's why he kept buying expensive players that were over the wrong side of 30 and things of that nature. Just to patch up. To keep the trophies coming. Which yeah, he got a couple successful seasons under Bartomeu. Obviously we had a great treble winning season under Bartomeu with Luis Enrique and all that good stuff. But you can only band-aid the problem so much without it finally breaking and leaking and spreading all over the place. But regardless, I'm happy that Laporta is back. We'll see what happens. Obviously, you can't do nothing until this season is finished. So let's enjoy the season as Barcelona fans. Hopefully they pick up La Copa del Rey, and hopefully they catch up to Atletico Madrid and get that Liga title.
Anything is
But
possible.
yeah, anything is possible.
Yep.
But we're not gonna go too far away from Barcelona, but unfortunately, obviously Barcelona did play yesterday against Mbappe and Paris Saint Germain, the second leg of the round of 16 in the Champions League. Um, Unfortunately for us, the result was not what we needed. Not because the guys didn't put enough effort, because myself and you and a couple of our friends were there sitting at the bar, watching the game live at the time, and man, we were surprised the way Barcelona came out and played. Man, they were attacking, they had possession, they seemed determined, and if it weren't for a couple of breaks and for an outstanding game from Keylor Navas, who knows? They might have pulled it off, but unfortunately, the ball didn't go their way. They tied the game yesterday 1-1 and lost at 5-2 aggregate to PSG. And unfortunately for Messi, it might have been his last game in Champions League with a Barcelona shirt on. But what are your thoughts, man, on the results from yesterday's games?
So it's all about performance and attitude, and I think the performance is just amazing, and all around, right? On the defensive end and in the middle, of course, and up front was the only issue. I think up front the issue was finishing. Messi scored a hell of a goal.
Mhm.
Yes, he missed a penalty, but he created so many plays for Dembele, for all the other guys to score, and they just could not finish. If you look at the stats, it was like, Barcelona shooting 18 at goal and PSG shooting like 3 or 4. So it's like a huge, huge difference. The question is, I mean, the biggest thing is, did you finish, right? So if
Yeah.
Barcelona should have taken advantage of those opportunities and really finished, like Dembele had 2 3 clear ones, right? And a couple others ones on the other side. So Messi was just cutting players left and right, and I still can't believe he's still capable of doing these kind of things at age 33, 34. I mean, I don't think anybody else is capable of doing that at that age, right? So just for him to be able to do that, and a lot of people put pressure on Messi, like, yeah, Messi this, Messi that. You can't do that. You can't ask too much of Messi. Messi can create for you and give you, but if you can't finish, there's no way you can blame him. But the team performance all around was great, and I think that's what the team was looking for. Was looking to perform really well, to do really well against a good PSG team, and to be able to
Mhm.
leave that field saying, "Hey, you know what? Regardless of us losing this round of the Champions League, we're going to come back next year and we're going to do a lot better because they're gaining experience.
Mhm.
They're gaining games, the game time, right, for a lot of these young players. And I think with the maturity of Messi and a couple others in the team, this team is going to be unbelievable to watch in the future. So at the end of the day, it's not like a downfall. They dominated most of the game. I think they had like 73% possession. So at the end of the day, it's like, stats wise, you won, you play better, and you did what you could, right? It's not like you came out to play and you looked horrible.
Yeah.
If that was the case, then we would be talking differently. But the
Yeah.
team looked amazing, and that's what's so good about it.
After the game, obviously Coleman had a quote where that obviously the team played great. Obviously we needed the ball to be in the back of the net. Unfortunately, it didn't happen for us. But you can see the quality and the high level that the team played. Even especially the young players. Dembele, finally having a little bit of run without having no injuries, showing his talents, getting opportunity to finally showcase why they paid so much for him.
Right,
Because no,
right.
no, I don't think nobody's ever denied the talent that Dembele has. It's just the fact of his injury, his injury history, the fact that he doesn't get no game time in the beginning when he first got here. He was a little bit childish with being late to practice and things of that nature. But finally, he's showing his true strides. He's showing his talent, and that's very good. I think that one thing that caught my mind from the presser afterwards was, Coleman mentioned that, Messi sees what's going on with this club. He sees the growth that this team has come from the beginning of the season to now. He sees the leaps that they're taking. So, and I think I don't think he's speaking for Messi, but I think as if I put myself in Messi's shoes, if I were to decide to stay in Barcelona, it would be for that reason right there, because of the leaps that these young kids are making to up their game, to play that true style Barcelona football, because it was a very attractive game yesterday for Barcelona.
Hmm.
You know,
Yes, it was.
it was very fast, very quick paced. It wasn't nobody holding the ball for more than 3 seconds. It was very. I wouldn't go so much as far as tiki taki, but it was very fast paced, and it's a style part of Barcelona that they thrive in, and I think it excited Messi, like our co-host Little mentioned in the Spanish show. It I think we saw a side of Messi in that game that we haven't seen before. He was very involved. Not only with scoring a hell of a goal, but just providing opportunities for Dembele, providing opportunities for Pedri, and things of that nature. But unfortunately, like I said, the results didn't come our way. Barcelona's eliminated, and that's that, man. Unfortunately, it's been all too common in the last couple of years. But good luck to PSG. See what those guys can do in the next round. But another game yesterday, man. Liverpool 2-0 over RB Leipzig. Uh, they finished 4-0 in aggregate over Leipzig. I was a high supporter of RB Leipzig because of what I've seen them do and what they're doing currently in the Bundesliga. So, and then obviously, what's going on with Liverpool in the Premier League. They're just falling and falling and falling and falling. So I don't know if Jurgen Klopp just said, you know what, the league is lost. We're gonna go focus on this Champions League and see what we can do here. Because Liverpool was Liverpool yesterday. You know, they won 2-0, very dominant performance. Goals by Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane. Really, what else can you say? Liverpool dominated the game. They're moving on. What do you think obviously we don't know who the next opponent is, but what do you think the chances are for Liverpool to actually make some noise in the Champions League?
Not much, man. I just see a Liverpool that from the middle of the field up, it's a strong house, but
Back end.
there's a lot of mistakes in the back. So
Yeah.
if you can't defend the game, then one corner kick can cost you the game. Imagine if you have 5 or 6 corner kicks and free kicks against you. So it says a lot about your defense, and I think that's the most important thing of the game, your defense. Obviously, your defense plays a role, your midfield plays a role, your forwards plays a role. But if your defense is not well behaved and disciplined, then it doesn't matter what you got up front, and it doesn't matter what you got in the middle. You can have the best players in the world, but you're going to struggle. And that's what it
Yeah.
truly is for Liverpool. So I don't think they're going to get past the next round. It is what it is,
So those were the games for Wednesday. Now, moving on to the games that were played Tuesday. Before we get to the main event for Tuesday, well, actually, you know what? There were 2 main events actually on Tuesday. But let's talk about, another one of the greats, Cristiano Ronaldo, being eliminated. This will be the first season since they said, I think it was 2005, that neither Ronaldo or Messi will be in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, which is a great feat in itself. That's 16 years in a row, I believe.
Yeah.
Now. So,
Yeah.
An amazing feat. Obviously we know that the Messi Ronaldo era is an era that's going to go down in history in soccer, that people years and decades after we're gone are going to keep talking about, right? But yeah, fantastic game by Porto. They had the 2-1 advantage, obviously winning 2-1 at home in the first leg. They started off shaky, man, because they went a man down really quick, actually, in the first half.
To me, that was a really unfair red card, man. I just don't think you should do that in a Champions League game. I get it that the forward kicked the ball, but so what? It wasn't like there was not enough time in the game for that to happen. You still had to play another 30, 40 minutes in the game, and you just give a fair warning. I just don't think the refs should do this. And to a certain point, that's why a lot of people think some games are rigged, where the refs really want to go towards this. But I can tell you one thing about that game. As far as it being an amazing game, you talk about leaving your heart on the field on both ends, right? And then again, Ronaldo wasn't so effective.
No.
He had his first shot on goal, in overtime, in the first overtime with a minute, I think it was an hour and 6 minutes into overtime, where he actually had his first shot to go. So how do you expect to win games if you can't give Ronaldo a good look pass to score, right? It should be one of those things to where, like, okay, if we want to win, we got to create for Ronaldo, And I think that's one of the reasons why he's so upset, because there was no creating any type of game for him,
There was a lot of questionable moves for Pirlo. Honestly, obviously I didn't get a chance to watch the full game in the beginning. I kind of caught the last minutes of the regular time, and obviously I caught the whole extra time. But what really surprised me was the fact that he benched McKennie and put Aaron Ramsey in starting. Obviously I know that Aaron Ramsey is a quality player. Obviously you see me rocking the Arsenal shirt, so I know all about Aaron Ramsey. But Weston McKennie has proven himself in league play, Champions League play, all that stuff, man. That kid, and not just because he's an American kid and we're trying to support here all the American, soccer players that are out there, but the fact that he brings a different dynamic to that midfield, not only with his speed and his defensive work, but the fact that he shoots from outside the box and gives you that extra creativity to put the balance on ease, because you never know when he's going to shoot. Aaron Ramsey, unfortunately, isn't that type of player at all. Well, at least not anymore. So it was kind of interesting to see Ramsey being placed in the starting lineup over McKennie. But yeah, man, shout out to Porto, man. They like I said, man down. They still went toe to toe with one of the biggest in Europe. Even with one of the biggest players on the pitch, held him scoreless. Um, so we'll see what happens, man. Porto obviously is a Cinderella story going forward because we I said it myself, and I think you kind of backed me up on it. This isn't one of the strong Porto teams that we're accustomed to. This is, they're a good team. They're probably gonna, do the league, but they're not a strong, Porto team like the ones prior, especially like the ones under Mourinho and things of that nature. But we'll see what happens, man. Like I said, Champions League tournament play is different from league play, and congratulations to those guys. But going from the past, man, obviously we know Messi and Ronaldo are eliminated. We obviously Mbappe is advancing, but there's another young kid knocking on the door, man. Erling Haaland. What an amazing two-leg, a home and away leg for Sevilla and Borussia Dortmund. It ended it 5-4. Borussia Dortmund qualifies to the next round on aggregate. But Haaland, man, 20 goals in 14 Champions League games. Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about this kid. I mean, if you tell me who do you prefer, Mbappe or Holland, I'll take Holland, even if I was blind. I mean, if you were to describe me both players, I'll take Holland any day. And the reason why I tell you this is because I just see Mbappe as a player that can be used on a counter attack, right? With his great speed and great skill with the ball, right? But a lot of people talking about, hey man, Mbappe will fit really well in Real Madrid. I don't think so. I mean, if you look at Real Madrid plays on the opposite team's side of the field and moves the ball around. So that means when is Mbappe really going to get that speed to penetrate? Never, because you're already in the area and inside 3/4 of a field of the opposite team. Now, if you're sitting back, right, and you win the ball and you're going on a counterattack, then yes, definitely Mbappe is going to be useful. But Holland is a whole nother level. This guy can create for you. This guy can keep the ball and take care of the ball for you. This guy can give you a pass to go. This guy can finish with his head, his foot.
He's
I mean, this
clinical.
guy, yeah. And the cool thing about Holland is that he gives you the ball and he gives you the right option every time. For defenders, it's really hard to read this because a lot of forwards, after they give the ball away to somebody else, most of the times they don't look back to get a pass into the space or to follow the play, right? Haaland is amazingly smart in doing this. And of course, if he has the pieces around him that can understand his game, he's going to be very successful. And I think that's what's been happening here. That Borussia Dortmund has a game plan, and that game plan is let's keep looking for Haaland. If he gives it to you, you know you're gonna have to look him back. Just the same way Barcelona does with Messi, right? If Messi gives you the ball, Messi's gonna want the ball back into that space or wherever it is he's running. So Haaland plays the same way. But the greatest thing about this kid is his ability. He can defend for you. He can tackle somebody. He can mark somebody. He can fight a 50-50 ball. He can give you a pass. I mean, he's a full package.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, he's more valuable than Mbappe because at the end of the day, even though Mbappe's speed is so amazing, his skill so amazing, his finishing is good. I mean, you saw him against Barcelona. He was on the floor complaining the whole time. Haaland won't do that. Haaland gets knocked out. He gets back up and like, when's the next play going to happen? Let's go, So that's the type of attitude that you want from a forward or any player, really.
They compare him to another great Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
All the way, all the way.
And what's really great about that comparison is that that Zlatan, for as much as you love him or you hate him, regardless of what side of the position you are with him, whenever he says something, he backs it up on the pitch.
Right.
I can see Haaland being the same way. This kid, he's amazing. I mean, for as young of a footballer he is, and for only really being on the scene for maybe a little over a year, he's done amazing. I mean, he's scored goals. He just achieved his 100th career goal last week. Like I said, like I mentioned prior, 20 goals in Champions League already. And it's fantastic to see such a young, talented player, and he doesn't seem to. The bright lights don't seem to weigh on him too much. He seems excited about the opportunity to prove people wrong, because I mean, look, I've seen soccer for almost all my life. You've seen soccer almost all your life. You've played soccer. You coach soccer now, right? You know, very few and far do players come in, especially at his age, and dominate the way that he's dominating. And like I said, to see it at such a young, ripe age, it's an amazing feat. I don't know if the whole Mbappe Harlan rivalry or era, whatever you want to call it, or whatever the media wants to call it, or create the next Messi Ronaldo, whatever. I don't know if it ever lived up to that. Those are big ass shoes to fill.
Yeah.
But I am excited to see the future of soccer, and especially if you got players like Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland, and other players, obviously, on the pitch as well. But guys, obviously, the English show, obviously we do it because we have a growing fan base, and we didn't want to deteriorate away from our English speaking audience. And guys, we love doing this show in English and in Spanish. Obviously, this is a little bit more abbreviated. And hopefully next time, we'll be back on our regular time on Tuesday, bearing any kind of complications with work or anything other kind of BS that comes along with life. But guys, please, like we said prior in the beginning of the show, if you're new to the page, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, comment on whichever title that you see on there, get on there, comment, let us know what you like, what you didn't like. If we talk too much about one club, or we don't talk enough about this club, let us know what you want to hear. We're here for you. We're here for you guys. But before we go, Fidel, is there anything you want to add?
No, man, just give us a lot of love, give us a like, a share, a subscribe. Man, hopefully you guys can keep coming back, and whatever, like Mark said, if you guys want us to talk about different topics, different leagues, let us know. We're here to please you guys. And of course, as always, our comments are just opinions, so not to insult or take any sides or anything like that. So just don't take it personal. We just love talking about soccer, and that's just a passion for us. And
Sure.
thank you for your views, man.
No, for sure, guys. And hey, before we go, man, shout out to Arsenal, man. 3-1 today, Europa League. I know we don't speak too much Europa like me, man, but I'm happy. Hopefully, I know we're not doing too well in the league, but hopefully Europa League can take us back to Champions League, man. But with that being said, guys, thank you for coming out with us. And we'll see you next week, man.
Yeah, man, definitely. See you guys.